This is the Diatone Rabbit 249 Plus. Gonna have a look at this today and see what the specs are on it. So let's take a look inside the bag. Package of screws. Another package of screws. Got a bunch of zip ties for mounting antennas and your receiver. Package that's got a couple extra plastic standoff nuts and a buzzer with 3M tape already applied, battery and XT60, some gummy squares for battery mounting, battery protection, and an extra battery strap. The note on this card says it's set up tune wise for 3S out of the box. 4S requires different tuning to keep the motors cool. In the box as well are two more canopies. Mine has a clear installed and then has white and black in the package. As per usual, Diatone uses quality parts. We've got Mamba 1105 5500 kV motors. These are made by Cobra, so high quality motors. Runcam Micro Swift for the FPV camera, and then this version is the Runcam TX200 video transmitter. They do make a version with a TBS video transmitter. Has the Mamba F405 flight controller and a Mamba 4-in-1 25 amp 3 or 4S capable ESC. So as it comes out of the box with the stock props, we're looking at 82 grams, 82.08 grams. Looking at 113.6 motor shaft to motor shaft. 67.7 from front to rear motor shafts. Comes pre-installed with XT30 connector, silicone wire battery lead. Nice frame, chamfered edges. Looks like arm thickness is going to be 3.2 millimeters. Injected molded plastic canopy with aluminum standoffs. So I'll be running a FrSky R-XSR receiver. Comes with a pigtail hanging off that's got your power ground and S-bus wire already pre-wired to the flight controller. Just have to mount it here on the back with a zip tie, get your antennas up and plug it in, and then configure in Betaflight. So we'll talk just a little bit while you're watching this flight footage. A couple things about it. The audio that you hear is not from the quad. It's from an external microphone. The way a lot of guys shoot, it's just off of a cell phone basically. So that's not from the quad itself. And the video transmitter is set at 25 milliwatts here. I didn't feel the need to bump it up at all. It is capable of 200. So really not a whole lot to talk about on this. I like it. I like the way it flies. I like the speed of it is incredible. It just gives me the feeling through the goggles that I'm flying a 5-inch, and I know it's not, and I know a lot of guys think that micros aren't capable of that, but this thing just gives me that impression. It's got the power to weight that it seems to need to have to fly the same. This is Betaflight 403. That's not what comes on it. I think it came with 357 or 353 or something. It did not fly well for me that way. It didn't have any problems as some others have with vibrations or anything like that. I just didn't like the way it flew, so I flashed 403 and did some tuning in my own, and obviously in the video you can see there is some work to do as far as the tune is concerned, but it's very flyable and I like the way it flies. The one other thing about this is that it only comes with one set of props in the box. That's one thing I think
maybe they should throw another set of props in. Just know that when you're buying it, that you need to buy some more props. The props that come on it, I think, are fine. The Gemfan 2.5 inch, I like them. Just buy some more from whoever you buy your quad from, because you're going to need them at some point. But I didn't have any issues flying it as far as hot motors or anything like that, electronics wise. It just worked. It worked well, and no real complaints. So we'll go back to the bench here in just a minute. We'll wrap this up, and hopefully you decide to buy one of these for yourself. So back on the bench here, just a few quick things before we wrap up. This is the R-XSR mounted to the back. I don't know how well you can see. I if I was to do this again, I think I would mount it the other way around, run the antennas kind of up through the top, back down through these holders, and then mount them on zip ties out the arms like I do on a normal quad, as opposed to putting them up here. This was just kind of a simple solution. It's worked. It just doesn't give the best antenna placement. Down here, I think they're a little more protected from the props too in a crash. So I did end up using. I like having telemetry, both for audio callouts on the Taranis as well as being able to use Lewis grips. So the only way I found that I could get this to work was to use the TX6 pad, the UART6 TX pad, on the flight controller, wired to the uninverted pad on the receiver. I couldn't find anywhere else to use that. I used soft serial then to make that the telemetry pad. Works fine. So I just like to have that. The one other thing there too is I originally didn't mount this buzzer. I didn't think I needed it, but the D-shot beacon on this with these little motors just isn't that great. So I mounted the buzzer back here behind the camera, and it's just a plug and play. It's got a pigtail that comes off of the wiring harness from the ESC that you just stick it down and plug it in. So that's that. I have a TBS Micro VTX here, and that's why I bought this version that has the RunCam TX200. If I have issues with this, I'm just going to swap it out for the TBS Unify Micro. If I didn't already have that, I think I would recommend just buying the TBS version. I think it's a better VTX. It's more settings, and I think it holds up better and gives better video. So I just bought this because I already have that, and when this decides to die on me, then we will switch it out. So that's pretty much it about this thing. It is crazy fast. It's fun to fly. It's as close to a 5-inch in a micro size that I have found as far as how it feels when I'm flying it. I just love flying this size. I know there's a newer version with 3-inch props, and I've got some 3-inch quads. I like that size. I fly that size a fair amount, but there's some reason that this is more fun to me. I like this size factor. And this thing is crazy fast, and I haven't even flown it on 4-cell yet. I've got a couple 4-cell batteries, and I just haven't taken the time to tune it so that I can fly the 4S batteries. But on 3S, 453S gives me about 3.5 minutes of flight time, 3 minutes depending on how I fly, and it is just insanely fast, and I love flying this thing. So I need to get a set of extra motors ordered and have them here, because that's going to be needed at some point. I'm going to end up ruining a motor. So it's so far has held up very well. I haven't had any electronics problems, and it flies good. It did, as usual, guys. Like and subscribe in the bottom. There is links in the description to this product and some of the other products that I use. Use those links if you'd please. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.